All right, we know it's been a long day. If everyone could just find a seat, we'll have some brief closing remarks from the other organization that you haven't heard from yet today, which is Economic Action Maryland. So we'll give everyone in the atrium a chance to find their way in. When you leave, there are flowers on the table. We encourage you, as a thank you for staying to the very end, we encourage you to please take a flower with you. And please do also take some food and desserts, especially on your way out the door. We will be donating the leftover sandwiches, but if you can put it to good use immediately, please do so. So we're just going to try to get the last few stragglers in here, and we'll get started.
Okay, I think we're about to get started, so if everyone could get their seats. Hi, I'm Jane Merkin, President of the Board of Economic Action Maryland, which is the C4 affiliated organization to Economic Action Maryland Fund. Up until now, today's program has been sponsored by Economic Action Maryland Fund, which is the C3 organization that's been around for almost 25 years. As you've heard, among other things, they advocate in Annapolis and provide direct services. And I hope that after today's sessions, you have a deeper understanding of their work. In 2023, advocates decided to form an organization that could build power for these important issues. And that organization is Economic Action Maryland, which, as I indicated earlier, is the C4 organization. Economic Action Maryland is a statewide, nonpartisan organization that uses political action and education as new tools to expand economic rights and equity in Maryland. Being a 501c4 also allows us to engage in political campaigns by endorsing and helping to elect candidates that share our values. We have just produced our first legislative scorecard that we are very proud of, and I hope that you all will pick one up on your way out. And this scorecard will hold our elected officials accountable for their votes, and more importantly, will allow voters around the state to see how their delegates and senators in Annapolis voted on issues in support of our agenda. Earlier this year, we hosted a house party in Montgomery County with guest speaker Congressman Jamie Raskin. The event was a tremendous success, not only exceeding our financial goals, but exposing our organization to individuals who had not been familiar with our work. And I was thrilled to see earlier today several people who had been at that party here joining us. And we were delighted with the support that we received from the Montgomery County delegation in Annapolis. We're currently planning our second house party in Baltimore on October 21st, and our comptroller, Brooke Lehrman, will be our guest speaker. I encourage you also to pick up one of these cards on your way out that gives you some more details. And most importantly, I hope to not only see you on October 21st, but now that you know more about all the good work that we do, I hope that you will spread the word and invite others to join us. And now, before I turn the program over to our Deputy Director, I want to add my thanks to Marceline and JBD and the entire staff for all their work in not only preparing for today, but you've seen them running around all day, so I want to thank them. And now it's my pleasure to turn the program over to Jennifer Bevan-Dangel.
Thank you, everyone. And again, my name is Jennifer Bevan-Dangel, or JBD, and I'm the Deputy Director of Economic Action Maryland, which is the hat I am currently wearing and sharing our exciting scorecard release with you. We've heard throughout the day, from Director Chopra to our different breakout panels, how incredibly important it is to be taking action and to be winning here in Maryland at this moment in time. We are facing unprecedented challenges at the national level. We're facing state budget shortfalls that make it very difficult and make our legislators have to take tough choices, what they're going to fund, what they're going to invest in during session. And Maryland already had very stark inequality. Our overall sort of high income numbers belie the fact that underneath the surface, we have large pockets of historically and systemically disadvantaged and disinvested communities. And all of that comes back to economic justice. That is why in 2023, advocates who care about these issues, as Jane mentioned, came together and formed Economic Action Maryland. As a C4, this entity can build power and mobilize and educate voters in a more direct way than a 501c3 can. And an incredibly important tool in that toolbox is something like the scorecard. This gives every voter in Maryland, every constituent in Maryland, a quick and easy snapshot to know how their elected officials performed on the issues we care about, the kitchen table issues that matter to people day in and day out. We're excited to have launched in a year where on many fronts we made tremendous progress. We saw, as you heard from our legislative awards earlier from our sister organization, you heard about the work done on energy reform for consumers. You heard about the critically important medical debt work that was done this year. But in other areas, unfortunately, we are seeing rollbacks. A lot of the very scary emerging threats that Director Chopra spoke about, AI, earned wage access apps that could just leach money out of borrowers paycheck after paycheck. All these fintech tools, the loans and the apps and the pop-ups that say, hey, just take money now, get money now, and people aren't thinking about the cost. Those types of products are gaining a foothold even in states like Maryland. And so that's why when you look, you'll see we had very few 100% scores this year. We had 3 outstanding senators and 6 outstanding delegates because there were powerful bills backed by powerful and influential entities that were building out a stronger foundation and reducing oversight for these new types of debt traps. And so we're grateful. The 90% scores we're very grateful for because this was a tough year for a first scorecard. But that's who we are. We are scrappy, and we are not going to back away from these fights. We're not going to back away from fights with big fintech and big data and big AI, and we're not going to back away from hard political fights either. That's right. And that is why your support, as you'll hear, is so important. And to talk more about that, I will turn it over to Diana Phillip, our board vice president.
Good afternoon. Again, everyone, thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate this. As you know, and as you just heard, the 501c4 is going to be an important arm to the movement work that Economic Action Maryland's been taking on. So we're about to face a government shutdown, and that means that we need to do everything we can in our state to make systems more resilient for all the residents and everything that they have to endure in order to thrive and be healthy and safe. So I wanted to ask you before you leave if you would consider please donating, and there's a little cue card here, but to consider with 501c4s, it's individual giving. This is not foundations. This is not, you know, I can go write a grant for Buffett and somehow they're going to give us all this money. It's not going to happen, right? This is individual giving. So we do have house parties so we can actually engage with people so they can understand why this is so important. But I think every day the economic justice issues that we see are so obvious. maybe the best way to give is not only one time, but maybe it's monthly. And this cute card will actually get you there. So please consider making a gift before you leave. And if you're not going to do it right now, when you get home tonight, so when you think about how upset you are with Trump, perhaps you will pick this card up and make a donation. Really, really appreciate it. Hope to see people at the October 21st fundraiser, and feel free to stick around and ask questions. Thank you.